Here are two pictures.
Hey guys, welcome back to Lunch Attack. We got Shuli, we got Katie, we got myself here today. We're talking about TV shows. How you guys doing? Hope you're doing good. Let us know what you're having for lunch today. We have some asparagus, some onions, and we did a roast last night. So we got some beef with some gravy. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna pray really quick before we start here. Dear God, thank you for this food, for this time, that we can just hang out and have lunch together and chat about TV shows. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right, so we're talking about TV shows today. I want to start with, where do you guys usually watch TV shows? Where do you watch TV?
Like my computer?
Well, like sure. Or like what platform right now? Because then like they came with a stat that since like social distancing has been happening,
like right now,
like streaming like has gone up. I think 85%.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which I thought was kind of low.
Yeah.
I thought it was actually like
85% is low?
No,
but like if everyone's staying home.
85% is actually you.
But you have like a segment of the population that doesn't stream or doesn't know how to
and I think that's what my guess is. The numbers.
Yeah.
I think my numbers is like the subscription number has increased because I think the majority of people have like streaming platforms that they like purchase or go to.
Yeah.
But I think it's like, you know, if you don't have Netflix, then maybe you're like, well, like I'm home, I'm not doing anything. I might as well buy Netflix.
Month free trial.
I know, 1 month free trial. Shout out to
let's go.
this one time, my buddies and I really wanted to watch a show. Only this one show. So we used like a 2-week free trial and we binged in like 2 days.
Yeah.
For like, what was it? I think it was Crave, like the old Crave.
That's awesome.
Crave TV.
Yeah.
So where do you guys usually watch TV shows?
I only watch cable TV. Yeah. If you don't know what cable TV is, it's this thing that is plugged into your TV, like a wire. It's a random wire on your TV that's plugged in, and it gives it, channels. What are channels? First of all, so yeah, no, I watch a lot of cable TV.
Really?
Yeah.
Go figure. Old school.
Yeah, old school. Yeah. I also read books.
Well, thanks for that.
Yeah.
Throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Me too.
Where do you like to watch TV shows?
I don't have cable at my apartment. But when I'm visiting Benson's family or my family, they do, and so I love it. I will on my family's TV in Newfoundland, I will start recording all the tiny house hunters and HGTV shows that I like to watch that I can't watch usually. So I think that honestly is still my preference to watch in a comfy living room setting, couch, television, bowl of popcorn. I don't love commercials. I guess that's the downside, is that you get infiltrated by a lot of ads on regular TV. But not if you record, again, because then you can just fast forward through them.
Yeah.
But so I guess normally though, if I'm back in Hamilton at my regular apartment, then I'm watching by myself, on my laptop, or hook my laptop up to the TV. Yeah.
Cool. Shout out to people in chat. We have Olivia saying Netflix and Disney.
Yeah. Oh, Disney Plus.
Disney.
Yeah, Disney Plus. Exactly. Taka saying, I just watch TV shows on some pirated sources. LOL.
Nice.
Yeah, we have Lane McMullen. Netflix is throttling their downloads in Europe because of the increased load on the internet.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yes.
I bet.
I know. Yeah. Hannah Stover saying, I love commercials. Haha. Lane McMullen.
There's always one. There's one in every crowd. Some people actually do. I know.
Commercials
I know.
are awesome. Alright, so I went to school for advertising, right? So I actually am one of those people who watches commercials for fun. Because commercials are great, and like a great commercial. The problem is there's a lot of crappy commercials, right? Because they're easy to produce, kind of, and they're but if you come across a great commercial, right, it's actually amazing. We should have an episode on favorite commercials. Yeah, because I have a lot. Yeah, oddly enough.
Or like a reaction episode where we just watch them together.
We should.
My soul.
Yes.
Yeah, I have some funny ones too.
Yeah.
Random question. I don't know if did you guys ever watch the Disney Channel?
Who hasn't watched the Disney Channel?
Okay, so what was unique about the Disney Channel? Yes, it was Disney.
Mhm.
And High School Musical was on it.
Is it
Kim Possible. But yeah, they would do all their commercials in like the last 10 minutes of the show. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So I'm pretty sure they had like no commercials. I think. Maybe my memory is foggy.
Yeah.
But would you prefer if there were like, I think in every like 1 hour show there's like probably 2 or 3 breaks, maybe 3 breaks
Yeah.
for commercials. Do you prefer
More
like
than
3
that,
like
but yeah.
3 5-minute breaks for commercials, or like just like all the commercials at the same time?
All the commercials at the same time. For me, yeah.
Well, if all the commercials were at the same time, you'd just stop watching like 10
Yeah.
minutes later. But you could be like, oh, my show starts at 2:30, but I'm gonna start watching at like 2:40
for sure.
because
Mhm.
then I'll miss all the. It's like missing the ads at the movie theater if you really want to.
I
Whereas
want
I
the ads
know
in the
some
movie theater.
some people want to go
They're
and
so
see all the
nice.
ads.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
But they're not like breaking up the movie
Right.
every like 20 minutes to insert an ad. Like
Yeah.
TV could be like that.
Yeah, I'm such a stickler for going into the movies early because I don't want to miss like the previews and the ads. Yeah. Yeah, don't watch a movie with me.
Oh.
Yeah, like McMullen, we only watched the Super Bowl for the commercials. Vache, I'd rather all the commercials at once.
Yeah.
Vache says it's good wash your break.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true.
How dare you?
Go get a like glass of water.
Wow.
Go get a snack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or enjoy entertainment at its finest.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Talking about cable, do you prefer? I don't know. There's something about cable. I don't know if it's just like growing up or whatnot without streaming service. There's something kind of nice about cable where like you flip the channel, you browse. It's kind of like whatever's on, right? As opposed to like you choose what episode. Yeah. How do you guys feel about that? Do you prefer cable or like a streaming service where it's like, streaming service feels kind of like buffet, right? Like you kind of choose whatever you want.
Yeah.
When you want to watch it, like what episode, whereas cable is kind of like, it's kind of like a surprise, right? Like, oh, I don't know what episode of like Community or Tiny House Hunters is gonna come on.
We also gotta wait every single week for another episode.
Yeah, but like there's something, well,
There
that's
used to
another
be-
whole nother thing, right? Binge
Yeah.
watching
Yeah, there
versus
used to
like
be this
Sunday
thing called
night, like.
delayed gratification.
Yeah.
That used to be a thing,
I know.
right? Whereas now I don't think we experience that very much in any area of our lives. Like, it's kind of a larger social thing, but it's definitely like this microcosm of it and how we even consume and like watch TV now, right?
The
Like,
sociologist's brain.
yeah, you want
It's good, it's good.
yeah, you want to be able to like see the ending or like watch multiple ones in a row or watch the exact episode that you want to watch, or watch it from front to back if you like missed it versus I think it's kind of, it's a way that our society has evolved as well, that we're no longer just like, well, I have to set my clock to watch at 7 o'clock on Thursday every week to like catch up with this show. I don't know, sometimes I think that might make it a little bit more isolating though, if you're not, the whole world isn't watching along with you at the same time, or you're not like having those times together with friends where it's like, every Friday night we watch this or
I agree.
whatever. Yeah, because you can all just go do it on your own time at like 3 a.m. and you might just be watching something by yourself. And
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I don't know, it's kind of a little more individualistic.
Yeah.
For sure. No, that makes sense, and like I think that is a big part that we're like the intentionality, right? Of like taking that time. It's so easy to just start a TV show and just keep going and keep going and keep going because it's right there in front of you, right? And so sometimes that's binge watching is. It is definitely a thing, and that's something that I do a lot. Which
Cool. All right, I think it's time to talk about some more of our favorite TV shows. Henrik, give me one. Give me one of your favorite TV shows.
All right, I'm gonna start off with this one because they actually started a podcast. Right, the two lead characters started a podcast, and like it's great because now I'm like, and this is the cool thing is like they're doing it episode by episode, so I'm probably gonna be watching the episodes along with them. Right, so
that's cool.
Yeah, so the first episode they watched the pilot, right? So I'm gonna go watch that, and then I'm gonna watch the second episode, and then listen to the podcast, right, and just follow along, right? And yeah, so the TV show, right? And I watched like all 9 seasons of it, and like I used to have the collection. I had a collection of like every single season. And it's Scrubs. Yes. Yes. The most realistic show about hospitals and doctors.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Like more than House or like
Oh,
Grey's
well,
House
Anatomy.
is like not.
Those are totally unrealistic.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, apparently this is like
Wow.
not that it's like super realistic, but it's the most.
It's the best of the worst.
Yeah, it's the best of the worst. Exactly. Yeah, no, Scrubs is so good. I find it so funny. Even when I was just like listening to the podcast, like some of the anecdotes and like just had me like laughing out loud while I was listening to the podcast. So I'm happy and yeah, no, I've had a lot of great memories and like that show has a lot of heart too. It can go from something very funny to something very serious and like in like a heartbeat. It's great. It's such a good show. Highly recommend it if you haven't, yeah. Scrubs is the best of the worst. Yeah, I can confirm it's a really good show. Thanks, Stealthy. See, Stealthy Inc. agrees with me. Taka says one TV show I really like is Freaks and Geeks. But yeah, so that's my pick for a
Nice.
TV show.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cool.
All right.
Katie, do you have a TV show you want to bring to the table?
Yeah, I think my first pick, in terms of like favorites, is Gilmore Girls.
Nice.
So this is a really cute TV show that I actually only started watching through Netflix. So it's not as though I'm against Netflix. I just think it's interesting.
Yeah.
So I think part of the reason why I like it is because of my friend Jessie introduced me to the show.
Jessie?
Yeah.
Like Jessie?
No, not just Jessie. Female
Jessie.
Jessie Sarafessi.
Ah,
To
Je-
be,
Whoa, that's
yeah, I
a
know.
nice
It's a great name, hey?
Wow.
So she lives in Norway now. She used to live right across the street from me. And I can remember actually physically walking over my like coffee pot to her house to watch Gilmore Girls with her, and she would crochet and I would knit. And yeah, just really
That's
wholesome, like challenging, complicated mother-daughter relationship highlighted throughout the whole show. It's about this single mother and her daughter, and it's like a lot of the time it's frustrating because it's hard to tell like who's parenting who and who's actually the mature one in the relationship. But this like little town that they live in, and there's just a lot of like kind of more stock like crazy small town characters. And anyways, it's just pretty wholesome, right? Like it just, I don't know, deals with like a lot of interesting stuff, but like and this girl as well, like the young kid is like really brainy and smart and goes to this, like ends up going to this private school. So yeah, I like really enjoyed that show and watching her grow up as well, from being in like high school to like going all through university.
Yeah.
And then they brought it back and did
I was gonna ask you about
like a season of each like summer, like they basically had an episode for each season that were longer episodes, like summer, winter, fall, spring, etc. Not in that order, in the order in which the seasons actually occur. But
so winter, summer.
yeah, pretty much. So winter,
Yeah.
winter.
Yeah.
Summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and there were coffee shops actually in Toronto, so
Oh, really?
that like set up as though they were Luke's Diner and we're serving free coffee in the morning, and like they dressed up and to celebrate the launch of the show. And so I actually came into Toronto with a different friend just to go to this coffee shop, like her and her baby.
Jessie?
Like, no, different
Jessie?
friend. No, Shannon. Anyways, so we came in together on the Go Bus at like 6 a.m. to go to Luke's Diner, one of the coffee shops that had like set themselves up with like free coffee and like the little mugs, like they had decorated and they were all dressed up. It was really cute.
That's awesome.
But I didn't love the like.
A lot of people said that.
Yeah, I felt like they changed some of the characters, like especially Rory. I think like the original kid. I felt like she kind of made some decisions in the new episodes that like
That didn't really make sense.
Given her character previously. But I don't know. It was nice to see everybody again.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. Oh man, there's so many TV shows. I've watched so much TV throughout my time. I think the one that comes to mind right now, kind of the older one that Kate, you and I tried starting to watch, but it was hard to find it like on DVD. Was 24.
Jack Bauer.
Yeah, Jack Bauer. Okay, so 24 is this really cool concept where the entire season takes place over a span of 24 hours. So it's 24 episodes.
Yeah.
Each episode's an hour long, and it's actually real time.
Yes.
So when there's like a commercial break, it's actually the time still runs. So he'll be like, the drive is 15 minutes, and it actually is like 15 minutes until he gets to the other location. But they do a good job of like kind of changing the scenes and stuff. And like it starts a little slow, like the first 2 seasons, but I think it gets really good.
The first 2 seasons?
Dude, there's like 13 seasons in the show.
What?
Yeah, because it's like new. Okay, so let me give you the premise.
So is it like every day, like each season is a day?
Yeah, okay, so let me give you the premise. So there's a guy named Jack Bauer who works for the I forgot what it's called.
CIA?
No, it's not CIA. It's basically like counter-terrorist unit. Yeah, CTU. Counter-terrorist unit.
Okay.
So they deal with like terrorist situations, and each season is a different terrorist plot. So it could be like there's a nuclear bomb in like LA, or it could be like someone is trying to assassinate. The first season is like someone is trying to assassinate the president or the guy who's going to become president of the United States, or like these like crazy scenarios, right? So it's like it all takes place throughout a day, so it's super intense.
Yeah.
Like all the time. It's basically just an intense show. That's all sorts of action. And then like Jack Bauer is this crazy character who's like willing to do anything for his country. Like he consistently like breaks the law, breaks the rules, right? All for the sake of like protecting like America, right?
Well, and or his family.
Yeah, and or his family.
More so his family.
Yeah.
If his
So it's kind of
family
like, oh my gosh, there's no way he's gonna actually do that, and then he does, and you're like, how could you possibly do that, right? So it's kind of like there's almost this like madness going on with him, where it's like you're like, there's no way he's gonna, and then he does. So and then like the characters are really good too, like Jack and like his daughter like Kim and a couple other characters are like really meaningful that like you grow attached to, right?
Yeah.
They tried to also sort of reboot it, that a movie, and they tried like I think called 24 Legacy, which is like with a different character, but it didn't quite get off the ground. I think there's like 9 seasons of 24.
I didn't know that.
But it's just a lot of action, a lot of like mystery, a lot of stopping terrorists, a lot of like gray moral compass.
All good things.
If they were gonna make a movie, are they gonna call it 1 hour and 30 minutes?
I don't know. Maybe.
Or are they just gonna go with 2 hours?
Yeah, I don't know. But it's
48.
That franchise. Yeah, 48.
Yeah. Or
that would be awesome actually, and if it's 2 hour length movie.
Yeah. Or they're gonna make a movie, call it 24, and have a 24-hour movie. And you have to like...
That'd be exhausting. You can make a TV show.
Or it could be the greatest idea ever.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's like the time that Shia LaBeouf...
Yes.
Do you know who Shia LaBeouf is?
Yes, I know who Shia LaBeouf is.
So there was this time in, I think, New York, where he rented out a movie theater and watched every single one of his movies.
Yeah.
And invited people to come watch with him.
Yeah, for free.
For free.
Yeah.
And he sat there and watched every single one of the movies he's ever made.
Yeah.
Wow.
And apparently it was like a terrible experience.
Probably.
Because he was in there for like 3 days watching movies.
Yeah, just watching himself, No, but he also called it art.
Yes, he did. He called it art.
Yeah, it was an art experiment.
Yeah.
Well, and a social experiment.
Yeah,
and a hygiene experiment.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways,
also,
24.
He's an egomaniac. He just wanted to watch himself.
Yeah.
Weird.
24.
Weird.
24/7. Yeah. Would you watch yourself 24/7?
No.
Like, just like if
In what way?
Why would
if someone filmed you for 24 hours, okay, this is the 24-hour movie. Someone films you for 24 hours, okay, and then you have to just watch that movie of yourself. Would you do it?
Well, 8 hours of it, I'd be sleeping.
Maybe.
8
It'd
to
be
10
kinda
hours,
boring.
it'd be pretty boring.
It'd be kind of boring.
Yeah.
It's like the guy who watched I think for 24 hours he watched like you remember like Nyan Cat? Do you know what Nyan Cat is? It's like this annoying cat sound thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
He basically watched a video for 24 hours straight.
Wow.
And it's just like a loop video. It doesn't
Yeah.
have any like it just yeah.
Yeah. Stealthying says the last TV show I watched was The Blacklist. Samson,
Oh.
I'm watching Blacklist now and it's pretty good.
I heard Blacklist is good.
Yes. Lane McCullen, my old housemates had all seen 24 and rewatch it with me. Every episode they would say Jack Bauer dies next episode. Yeah.
That's legit.
Yeah. Hannah Silver, hashtag Team Shy. Lane McCullen, every episode. Yeah, just screw something up and call it a social experiment.
So true.
Yeah. My life has been a big social experiment.
Oh.
Alright, Shuli, throwing it back to you. You got another
Alright.
one for us?
Alright, yes, I do. Alright, you guys aren't ready for this.
Alright.
No, we're not.
Yeah, I'm not ready for this.
I believe it.
Yeah, no, it's great. This one is Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh.
Yeah, one of the greatest
Nice.
TV show and animated series to grace the screen. And stop.
Do you have a favorite character? What?
Yes!
Okay, can you explain the TV show for us?
Yeah,
For those who
there's
don't.
a moment of silence here as we take this in.
Well, I know it, but I don't know if you know it.
I don't know it.
Alright.
I do not.
Okay, so Avatar.
I know
Everything
Avatar,
changed when the Fire Nation.
Yeah, exactly. It's about the so there's 4 tribes, right? You have the fire, the Fire Nation, the Water Nation, Earth Nation, and
It's like a fantasy world.
Air.
Yeah,
That
air,
would make
yeah.
sense. Those would be the
and then-
elementals.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. And then they have this person called the Avatar who can control all 4 elements, right? And the Fire Nation started attacking all the nations, right? And they were hunting for the Avatar because the Avatar is the only one who can stop the Fire Nation,
Yeah.
right? And the Avatar at that time was just a kid who froze inside an iceberg, right? And then like a bunch of
He
years,
disappeared for some
Yeah, he
reason.
disappeared for a long time.
Classic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
And
a few
then-
years later, no, not a few years, 100
No,
years
like
later.
hundreds of years later.
Yeah, hundreds of years later, the Avatar comes back, and it's this
Yeah.
kid named Aang, and it's his adventure of becoming, the true Avatar
Yeah.
and stopping the Fire Nation. And it's great, it's
Yeah.
amazing. The characters are wonderful. Yeah, it's such a great TV show.
And then like a bunch of the people in the world, like the Fire Tribe, the Water, like they can actually, they're called benders,
Yeah.
and they can actually control like those elements.
In their world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like the firebenders can actually like shoot fireballs in their hand,
That
and like
makes sense.
the water benders can like move water from one location to another.
Okay.
So the Avatar is like the only one who can like
Control
use
all of
all
them.
the elements, right? Which is like, it's like this prophecy sort of. It's
Yes.
good though. And it's like these little kids like coming of age, like these kids becoming heroes.
I know.
It's a great show.
Yeah, my favorite character is none other than Toph.
Toph?
Yeah, Toph is amazing.
Toph's
Yeah, I think Toph made this show like when Toph was introduced, it turned it from a good show into like a great show. So in my
Nice.
opinion,
Wow.
in my opinion,
Wow,
Toph,
you like
yeah.
Toph that much?
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a great mug, Katie.
Avatar.
Where's Benson's Dove mug?
The Holy Spirit mug,
one second.
it's over there.
Yeah,
You can
it's
grab
taken
it.
around
from
somewhere.
Oh, it's right there. I see it.
It's
Just
got coffee.
drinking water. This is my
you wanna grab it
iceberg.
from me?
This is my iceberg mug. It's from Newfoundland, and I think it's meant to represent like the fog and the water. But
What?
yeah, it
water
also
benders?
reminds me of icebergs.
Is there still coffee there? Oh. What are you doing?
The mysterious hand.
Arcady, do you have another show for us
Yeah, sure
on
do.
the docket?
Absolutely. So another favorite for me that I still go back to sometimes and like rewatch and like binge a little bit is the show Friends.
Oh.
I love the show
Classic.
Friends.
I actually know that.
What's that?
I didn't know that you love
Oh no
Friends so
way!
much.
Really?
Yeah.
I find it hilarious. I don't know.
No, it is funny. It's
Yeah, it's really good. And again, just like kind of the characters are stock and endearing and like funny enough, and their interactions with each other are like reasonably predictable. Like it's just easy watching, right? Like, well, right? Like it's like it's not a show you have to be super invested in and like following along the plot line, and you might miss like this one thing that was hidden in episode 13, and then you won't understand season 3. And anyways, so I don't know. I guess I think what we're learning, unless I'm with you or like socially watching something and like getting into a show, I guess I like shows that you can just sort of like have on while I'm doing something else. Like probably the times that I watch TV is while I'm knitting or like cross stitching or like doing something else as well, and just kind of enjoy having something in the background that's like light. So I think that's what Friends has been for me as well. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So Vache is saying I'm a reality TV fan, Big Brother and Survivor.
Oh, cool. Didn't know that.
Yeah. Stealthy
Nice.
says I'm almost ashamed that I didn't watch Avatar yet. Watch Avatar.
You should watch Avatar.
Yes. Yes. 2 words. Biggest Loser, says Ling.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
that's a good
I have
show.
seen that
Biggest
one as well.
Loser.
That's
and
funny.
Stealthy, how do you mentally deal with the laugh tracks?
Truth. I laugh louder.
Oh.
I laugh over them.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. A big ups, Omer saying, a big ups to Taco for saying Freaks and Geeks. Amazing show. I'm so sad it ended the way it did. Yeah. So,
Cool.
Benson?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I have a niche show that I have a couple niche shows.
Niche pick.
Oh boy.
But one of the shows that I binged that I loved that I think was on Netflix that I don't think is there anymore is a show called River Monsters.
River Monsters.
Okay, let me give you the.
Alright.
Katie doesn't know this. On tonight's episode of River Monsters with Jeremy Wade.
Oh no.
Okay, so
Oh no.
it's basically these stories of deadly fish, right? Like fish that can kill people, can eat people, right? Can sting people to death, but they're all freshwater,
Okay.
right? So they're not in the ocean. It's not like shark. Well, there's some sharks in the show, but they're all like in like fresh water, so rivers, lakes, things like that. And they play it up to be this crazy thing where they have this marine biologist named Jeremy Wade, who's Australian, and he goes to these like remote locations and is tracking down like the secret of what killed this man. And he tries to narrow it down to like what fish it could possibly be in these exotic locations, like in the Amazon jungles.
Why would you do this to yourself?
Because it's so good. I need to know it. And then he goes out on a boat, right? Oh, he's also like he's investigating. He's like interviewing like people from like random tribes in different languages and things like that. And then he goes out and actually tries to like catch one of these things. To sort of see if it's like true, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like it's super played up, it's super dramatic, but I love it. I love watching him like pull up like fish that are like bigger than this table, and the legends of like fish that like can like eat people and things like that. It's really cool. I love River Monsters so much. It's so good. There's like 4 seasons of it. I wish they kept doing it. You should check out like you should check out one episode. Watch one episode of River Monsters.
Alright.
And you'll see what I'm saying about it. It's
Homework,
so
guys.
good.
Watch an episode of River
Monsters. It's on Discovery.
I'm gonna say, can I get a late person's recap of what shows you guys have listed already?
Alright, you had Scrubs.
I had 2, which is Scrubs and Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Katie had
Gilmore Girls and Friends.
that had 24 and River Monsters.
Yeah, so
Interesting themes.
That's what we got so far.
Yeah, those are interesting
Actually,
themes.
River Monsters reminded me of another one,
Yeah.
which would be Man vs. Wild.
Oh,
Bear Grylls.
yeah.
Like that's a
That's a
regular
great
TV
show.
that I used to love.
Really?
Actually,
Man vs.
Wild.
Wild's
Like I
good.
used to love
Yeah.
like when I would catch that.
Yeah.
We dropped off in like some remote location.
Yeah, exactly
And
the
have
same
to
thing.
survive for
Just
like
like-
3 hours or something, right? Or not 3 hours, 3 days.
Yeah.
Like.
I remember there's this one time where we were planning on going winter camping. And I watched like all the episodes of Man vs. Wild that was like in the tundra to try and like mentally prepare.
Safety first.
It was so funny.
Yeah.
I almost lost a leg on that trip.
Yeah.
I think I was just intrigued by like how
No,
he
it's
would do
cool,
things,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Like
sure.
he would be dropped off with like one knife or not even, right? And
Yeah.
like or like he'd be like, this is the safety gear I always have with me if I like I'm hiking in this area, and
For
here's
sure.
why.
Yeah.
And then building like these lean-tos and hunting and cooking and it's
Yeah.
just like here's this like little lizard and I need to eat its leg because I need enough protein.
There
like,
was one in
it doesn't taste very good, but I need enough protein to get through the next day.
One in I think Iceland where you found a sheep that had fallen off like a cliff.
What?
He wore it, right?
It's not for the squeamish.
Yeah.
He cooked its eyeballs
Nice.
by putting like his shoelace through it and then boiling it in like the hot you know how there's like hot springs or whatever, like hot lava or whatever, and like it was so interesting. I don't think I would do it, but it was really
you would if you needed to survive.
Yeah, I
You
guess
probably
so.
ate like
Yeah,
half
you
of
would.
it and then went to the buffet table and grabbed some actual food.
I hope it was real. Don't say that.
You know?
Don't say that. Don't
Spoilers!
Bear Grylls is supposed to be a good person.
It's true.
Omer's saying, ask
Or
Julie why he
Bear
hates
Grylls.
Beyond Belief, fact or fiction so much.
All right, why do you hate Beyond Belief? Okay, what is Beyond Belief?
Alright, so there's this TV show called Beyond Belief, fact or fiction, right? And the concept is that they would take headlines, right? They would take headlines and they would make like short, like let's say 5 to 10 minute episodes of these headlines, and they would do maybe like 3 or 4, maybe 5 of these, right? And then you have to like figure out at the end if it was a fact or a fiction.
Oh.
If it was an actual thing that happened in real life and they turned it, you know.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, is it something that their writers just wrote up?
That's
Yeah,
really cool.
totally.
Right? So,
I would love that, actually.
Yeah, there's this crazy episode where this lady found out that her husband was cheating on cheating, and then like it was something about like her trying to get revenge, right? So shoots a gun, tried to shoot him with a gun like one day, misses. It like it was stuck on like a tree, and like a year later or something, the husband, right, and they're not separated, is with another woman, was like cutting down that tree with like with a
saw or something.
with a saw, right, with like a motorized one, right,
A
and
chainsaw,
that bullet, and he hit that bullet,
Yeah.
and like
What?
it hit him, yeah, and killed him.
What?
Yeah.
Was
And
it
was
true?
it was fact.
Whoa!
I
That's
know.
wild.
Yeah.
That
Oh
is
my
a
God.
wild
So-
story.
It came
Yeah.
back to him.
Yes, it's a great TV show. The production
That was
is
a wild
horrible.
story.
The production is horrible. Like, but it's a great concept. I want them to remake it. If there was a 2020 version of Beyond Belief, man, I would support that. I would. You know what? It's time for us to make the reboot for Beyond Belief.
Beyond
Yes.
Belief.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Fact or fiction? I think that would be really cool. Yeah. So
That's
no, it's a really cool.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's a really
That's
cool
a wild
TV show.
example too of like one
Exactly.
of the
Awesome.
stories.
Yeah.
They're probably all like, could this really, like, how could any of these have possibly
Yes.
happened?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
It's like the game Two Truths and a Lie, where
Yeah.
Like
you
you have to find the most
try to,
obscure.
try to figure out like the
Exactly.
most ridiculous,
Yeah.
like 3 of the most ridiculous
Yeah.
things you can
So
possibly
I
say.
watched it with friends, and like we would like tally up scores. Of, like, you know, be like, yeah, this one's
That's
fact, this
awesome.
one's fiction.
Mhm.
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen How I Met Your Mother?
Oh
right?
yeah,
It's Stealthy Inc. And in America, the production is amazing from a show from the late 80s.
nice. Only
Yeah.
a few episodes,
I
unfortunately.
think I've only seen a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, not much.
Started to kind of get into it, and I don't remember why I stopped. But
Yeah.
I think I've only seen a few episodes in the first season.
No, I've heard it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I stopped watching How I Met Your Mother like season 5, 4 or 5. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not bad.
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. So.
That's fun. I think Vache mentioned Big Brother or like
Yes.
some reality TV
Yes,
ones
reality
a little ways
TV.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my family, I think they still do. It's like sort of this low key like little competition that we have sometimes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like that we. There's been years when it's been like stronger than others. But I used to have cable in Hamilton, and when I did, we would watch Big Brother, and we would have a pool on like who
Oh.
was gonna get voted out at what time, like who was
That's
actually
fun.
gonna win the whole thing.
That's
I'm pretty
fun.
sure I won. Like I'm pretty sure I ended up with the most
Right.
points
Nice.
that year. So my brother put it all together, and we had to like submit our predictions before. Or it might have been like after the first episode or something, like having just watched one and like met everybody. But yeah, there were like things about who would win head of household, who would like I don't know. They were all like really interesting. A bunch of different. It was like this complicated grid of how to like earn points. So I used to watch Big Brother quite a bit, but I haven't since I don't have cable anymore.
Yeah.
And apparently, Big Brother Canada is like insane. It's just.
Really?
The characters that they get on and like the things that they do,
crazy.
it's even more like ridiculous than the American version.
I've only seen one season and it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like entertaining but crazy.
Very entertaining.
But crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Wow.
like again, it's like something. Yeah, it's like weirdly addictive because.
For sure.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Oh, should I give a lengthy list as Omer? Arrested Development is probably my favorite show ever, says Omer. Thank you for stealing my number one pick.
Hey.
Yeah. Vache said, did you guys ever watch Unsolved Mysteries? That was so scary for me as a
I
kid.
don't think so.
Right?
No,
And Omer says,
actually.
9 seasons of Simpsons, 3 seasons of Family Guy, most of the first 20 seasons of South Park.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my.
Wow.
Wow, that's a list.
Yeah,
That's a
of
lot of seasons.
Do you guys? So have you guys ever seen Arrested Development, the greatest show created ever? Ever.
I haven't seen it.
Oh.
Have
No.
you seen it?
Arrested. Okay, so.
Sorry, give us the
Alright,
concept.
alright. Think of it this way. All right. This is not the synopsis, but this is how I talk about Arrested Development. Okay. You guys remember the show? What show is it? The bunch of smart people. They have Penny. They have.
Oh yeah, Sheldon Cooper.
Sheldon, yeah.
Oh, Big
Oh
Bang
my
Theory.
gosh,
Big
Big
Bang
Bang Theory.
Theory. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes,
So,
yes.
Big Bang Theory. All right, Big Bang Theory is a show
Yeah.
about smart people
Yeah.
with stupid jokes.
Right.
All right.
Well, it started off with smart jokes, but then it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. So I just
So-
integrated.
Arrested Development is a story about stupid people with very smart jokes.
That's
that is
hilarious.
yes. So Arrested Development is about this rich family, right? Who is basically suddenly is going broke,
Okay.
right? And their oldest son, right, is trying to keep the family together. Yeah, but it's so funny. It's great. Michael Cera is in it as a kid.
Really? Oh
yeah,
wow!
Yeah,
As a
Michael,
kid.
this is Michael Cera's big break.
Wow.
This is what started his character. Like every character he plays in every movie. You know that?
It's just him.
Yeah, it's just him. Yeah, this is this show defined Michael
Right.
Cera. he hasn't broken out of his shell since then. But no, yeah, it's such a smart show. It's one of those shows where you can watch over and over again and you just peeling layers and layers and layers and finding things that that are like funny and it's so great. Yeah, it has Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, David Cross.
Wow! I didn't know
Yeah.
they were. I didn't know Jason Bateman were.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
that's fun.
Wasn't Chris
there's-
Pratt in it too?
Yes. Yeah, if you're watching Arrested Development and not laughing every minute, you miss at least one joke.
Oh
yeah.
man,
Yeah, it's so good. It's
that
just-
sounds really good.
yeah,
It
it's,
does sound really good.
Yeah, it's such a great. Yeah, it's a great show. It's great. The first 3 seasons are amazing. And then it got canned.
Really?
Yes, and then they actually rebooted it. No, they didn't reboot it. They made this 4th and 5th season.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's not as good. It's not as good.
Oh.
Rough.
Yeah, but the first 3 seasons are like they're great. They're great. They're
Nice.
amazing. Yeah, everyone should watch Arrested Development. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Do you
guys
have
need to watch Arrested Development.
Yeah, we'll check it out. Do you have another TV show, Katie?
Yeah, so one that we watched together and I think I really enjoyed the first season was Designated Survivor.
Yeah. Yeah, for
yeah, this interesting
Yeah.
concept of how like when there's the big meeting, or
Yeah,
like
for sure.
what is
Like
it? I don't know. Like
the
they had
Congress
to,
was gathering.
yeah, they had to like all gather
everyone
all these
dies.
like governmental people, but they keep one person out, and it was like the minister of like housing.
Yeah,
or something.
housing, yeah.
So and like then it actually happens. This is like not a huge like
Spoiler. Yeah, it's like-
because
yeah.
it happens like in the first episode right away that like the president and everybody else dies and he has to become the president.
Yeah.
But he is like Like, he just basically gets sworn in on the spot, and then it's like he goes from being Minister of Housing to being the president and walking the country through this like giant crisis. So yeah, I don't remember much about the other seasons. I definitely liked the first season.
Yeah, it's like an endearing show.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's like this like sort of like guy who never had any ambition to be president, sort of like was a professor.
Actually was about to be like,
was really canned.
Yeah, it was like kind of on the edge of like being let go, but
Yeah.
then all of a sudden it's like, here you go, you're gonna be.
Yeah, so it's kind of this underdog story. Yeah, it's really endearing. That's cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah. A show I love, another niche.
Oh boy.
The niche.
Oh,
The
boy.
The niche
show.
shows.
Here we go.
I go from Action 24 to
Yeah.
River Monsters
Yeah.
River Monsters.
to a show that I love that you can find on
Here we go.
YouTube
Here we
or
go.
a
Big
Food
teddy bear
Network
coming through.
is Kitchen Nightmares
Oh,
with
yeah.
Gordon
Oh,
Ramsay.
all right.
I love Kitchen Nightmares. The premise is Gordon Ramsay, who's all mean and angry, but is like a world-class chef, comes in
Yeah.
to failing restaurants, whips them into shape, fixes their menu, fixes their decor, fixes their branding and marketing, turns around these people's lives somehow with like inspiring speeches, and then and then they succeed and they do like super well. But it's kind of cool because he gives them basically a new restaurant with like and all this help and like helps them through all their problems. But then they actually like go back and like
Check
3
in.
months later
Yeah.
and they check in. So it's really cool. But it's also crazy to see like Gordon Ramsay do his Gordon Ramsay thing. And to see actually like part of what's really interesting with the show is that a lot of these restaurateurs or restaurateurs are like kind of delusional.
Yeah, they don't really want the help, or they
Yeah.
think like,
Yeah.
I'm doing it the right way.
Yeah,
People love my meals.
food is so good. I
Yeah,
don't know
they
why
love
people
this
are
thing I pulled
coming.
out of the freezer 3
Yeah.
weeks ago.
Yeah, it's so
and serve
it's so
as if
crazy,
it's fresh.
right?
Like
Some of the
of
restaurants, and
course.
they're real restaurants, and some of the restaurants are just doing like completely crazy things, right? Like imagine a restaurant that just microwaves like mac and cheese for you. That's like worse than KD, right? And serves it to you as like mac and cheese or
Gourmet.
like soup that's been like sitting out for like 2 weeks, or, right? Like crazy, like mold growing in like the fridge, like something like that, right? He comes in and he's like, "What is all this?" And he's like yelling and whatever, right? And then like people break down and their whole life is turned around and
Oftentimes that is the case.
Yeah. So
sometimes not though.
So
Wow,
is the
or they
lesson
stick to
here-
their guns, or they
Yeah.
won't, and they won't change.
Yeah, is the lesson here you need to like shout at people for their
He
lives to
doesn't
turn
always
around.
he doesn't always shout at them, and he likes
Yeah.
he's not as like it's not like Hell's Kitchen where he's
Yeah.
like just tearing into people,
Yeah.
but.
Yeah, but
I
it
love
is like
I love Kitchen
yeah.
Nightmares.
Yeah.
I could watch. I
Yeah.
watched a lot of Kitchen Nightmares.
You're gonna tell people to manifest their dreams.
Manifest your
Manifest your dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what some of your favorite shows are that we might have missed so far.
Yeah.
Keep chatting to us.
Yeah, for sure. They're saying Goosebumps is so cheesy.
Oh, Goosebumps is so good.
And Are You Afraid of the Dark is great too.
Yeah.
Of that any good though? I haven't watched it yet, says Omer. And then watch it. I didn't even know there was a reboot of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Yeah.
Goosebumps,
Yeah.
like
Omer's saying, is that a challenge? It's not a challenge, but list your favorite shows. Is Benson challenging me?
yeah, Goosebumps. I remember watching a couple episodes as a kid and being so freaked out.
Yeah.
There were
Same.
some freaky
Probably.
TV shows as a kid.
Probably.
There was I think it's Are You Afraid of the Dark, maybe. But there's this creepy animated show that like the setting was like in a diner with these like bugs talking about stories or something. And it always started with like, and then they would tell a tale, right? Like a spooky tale.
Yeah.
And it would always start with like, this is a true story that happened to a friend of mine. And it'd be this like creepy tale. And I was like 7 and I was like so freaked out by
Oh my
these
gosh.
shows.
So I wasn't allowed to watch TV like that as a
Right,
kid.
yeah.
Or at least like they tried to make sure that we didn't.
Yeah, my TV was unfiltered.
That's so funny.
That's fair.
Yeah. Do you have any childhood shows that you like really
That's a
loved
great
or like
question.
really enjoyed
Yes.
as a kid?
I do.
Go.
I do. There's a show. I don't like. It's the football head show.
Oh!
Hey Arnold!
Hey Arnold!
Hey Arnold is so. I love
So
Hey Arnold.
good.
Yeah. I remember watching Hey Arnold when I was a kid, and just I don't know. I was just like, oh look at this. It was like a story about friendship and like it's nice. With this like what do you call this? with his good friend,
Yeah.
the dude with the
hair.
long afro hair.
Yeah, the afro hair.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
I
Hey
love
Arnold
that
was a
show.
good show.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's so many, but I think there's
Give us
also
a
like
couple,
two
yeah.
categories. There's like when we had 3 channels as a kid that my parents didn't pay for, and then there's like cable, right?
Alright.
Like which switched later, like
Yeah.
maybe in my preteens. So as a kid, like definitely we would watch Arthur almost every night,
Arthur.
and Magic School Bus,
So
and there was
good.
this show called Zoom. That
Zoom.
like had kids that would do crafts and like tell
Oh,
jokes
cool.
and yeah, like it was
Interesting.
non-animated. It was like
Yeah,
kids
yeah.
actually
Wait,
kind
you're not
of
talking
like
about the video conferencing, like.
no, not the video. No.
Zoom.
It was like a show where they would all like get on and like learn, like do dances and teach you crafts and like do creative stuff.
That's cool.
Anyways, and then I think like when we kind of went into the cable years, there'd be shows like The Weekenders.
Yes,
And
the Weekenders.
Recess,
So
and
good.
like I don't know, Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
I think my sister
Nice.
liked that, and I
Right.
probably watched it. a little
Hannah
bit with her.
Montana.
Yeah, there were shows
Yeah, because my
that.
sister's name is Hannah too.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's true. There were shows that I was like a little bit older, but had like 2 younger siblings. They were
Right.
like 5 and 7 years younger, so I got in on some of those like shows that they liked to watch even when I was a preteen.
Yeah.
That Zoom show reminds me of a show called Popular Mechanics for Kids.
Yeah, it would have been something like that.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
really cool about like gadgets. I remember watching like Zaboomafoo.
Yes.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys have ever seen Zaboomafoo.
Yeah, definitely.
As a kid, but yeah, like Family Channel was huge, like Kim Possible.
Mhm.
I really
Yeah.
enjoyed- There was one called Codename Kids Next Door.
Yeah!
That was so
That's
epic.
so good.
That
It's
was
so
really good.
cool.
Yeah.
Dexter's Lab.
Yeah.
Dexter's Lab was
yeah, there's
so
Recess.
cool. Recess.
There's a,
Yeah.
what is it?
And even as a guy, like Powerpuff Girls was actually like such a cool show.
The
Like something that was
Weekenders.
just so epic.
The
Weekenders is so
the
good.
start,
I know.
like, oh man, I want to listen to the Weekenders now. Yeah, a lot of people are listening here. So we have Bachi saying Freaky Stories. That's the name
Yeah.
of the.
Oh yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh
Good
man,
vibes
that
in
show is so crazy.
Yeah.
I kind of want to watch it again. Yeah.
So Hannah saying Little Bear.
Oh, Little
Yes,
Bears.
Little Bear.
Yeah. Omer. Most of the entire Fox Kids lineup. Bachi saying
Yeah.
Beetlejuice cartoon was one of my faves as a kid.
Oh, cool.
Omer, kids shows, Spider-Man, X-Men,
Yeah.
Batman, the animated series, Batman Beyond, Transformers, Beast Wars, Gargoyles.
Gargoyles,
Yes.
yes. Which is on
Monsters
Disney
Alive.
Plus again.
Yeah.
I almost bought Disney Plus when I heard Gargoyle.
Yeah.
I used to have Gargoyles like action figures.
This is also news to
Yeah.
me.
Yes.
Yeah, Mighty Max, original Power Rangers. Vache saying, yeah, I was a big Power Rangers
Power
fan.
Rangers.
Nice.
Yeah. Omer saying, Animaniacs for sure.
Animaniacs,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hannah Silver, Seventh Heaven.
Aw, that's a good
Yeah. Yeah. Vache saying, only the first generation. The Krat Brothers. What's Krat Brothers?
Oh,
What
yeah.
are they saying?
That I remember that as well.
Mm.
Were they part of Zaboomafoo, or is that like something completely
I-
different?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
They were also like kind of
But you'll have to tell us.
folks that like taught you about wildlife.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tiny Toons, TMNT, Magic
Yes,
School Bus.
Oh.
When I come home from school.
Yes.
Yeah, Powerpuff Girls is one of the best
Oh,
animated
it's so
series of all
good.
time. Go
Powerpuff
back and
Girls
watch
is so
it. Again,
good.
Benson, there's a bunch of adult jokes I guarantee you missed. I
Probably.
watch it every year, basically.
Oh my goodness.
Did you
that's
guys watch
amazing.
Fairly Odd Parents?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did really watch
I
Fairly
know,
Odd
they're
Parents.
coming back
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah. Who's your favorite, I guess, character for Powerpuff Girls?
Oh man, that's hard. So there's Bubbles, there's Buttercup,
Yeah.
and there's what's her name again?
Bubbles, Butter...
Blossom.
Blossom, Bubbles,
So
Buttercup.
Bubbles was blue,
Yes.
Blossom was red,
Yes.
and Buttercup was green. Definitely Buttercup.
Yeah?
Yeah, Buttercup was probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Kind of like tomboyish, like kind of like
Yeah.
little edgy,
I'm a
like.
Bubbles guy. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
Bubbles.
There's this hilarious.
Bubbles
Okay,
is great.
we gotta remember. There's this hilarious scene where they have to do this impossible multiple choice test.
Oh, no.
Apparently or something, and like one of the villains is making them do it, and like Buttercup and Blossom are like struggling to do it, and Bubbles is just like doing a picture of like a flower or something, and she gets like perfect on like the test.
Wow.
It's hilarious. It's really obscure,
Yeah.
but Powerpuff Girls is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, it's good to reminisce.
I
Yeah.
know. I love Mojo Jojo.
Mojo. It's so good.
I know. And then you remember the Mandark laugh from Dexter?
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, tell us what other childhood shows you've watched. Are there any others you guys can think of?
I know a very one of the creepiest TV show that's for kids is Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh
I have
man,
no idea how
that show is so weird.
It's so weird.
I've never
it's
seen
so creepy. I don't know how
It's just
like got aired for kids. This is a TV show for kids.
Yeah. Though I find like a show like Rugrats is kind of like that too. Whereas like I didn't find as a kid Rugrats was like that endearing.
No,
it was just really weird.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But also there's some like weird theories on Rugrats.
Yeah, there is.
That's like
there's some really weird theories on Rugrats.
Yeah. I want like that's interesting in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that would be a good show. Of like us like looking at like theories and then like reading it and us like reacting.
Well, another show with a lot of theories. That isn't a childhood show, but I watched kind of like in high school. Was Lost.
Oh.
Did you ever watch Lost?
I have not, but I think that's Landy's favorite show of all time.
It is. Yeah. It was a really interesting show. You watched Lost?
Yeah, I've watched
I think we talked about
It's
Lost.
been a little while.
There's a lot of theories as to like what happens in Lost
Oh
and
my
things like that.
Lanta.
But I remember liking it a lot. Like when I watched it.
Yeah.
It was pretty confusing, but Lost was a pretty good show.
Yeah.
That's one of those ones where you have to pay attention to like everything that's going on.
Very like philosophical, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another show I think about like on Prime Video, which I really like watching as well, like Amazon's streaming service. Which if you have Amazon Prime, you automatically get Prime Video. Don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, is Man in the High Castle.
Ooh.
It's a really cool show.
Yeah.
I keep trying to get into it. I know they're on their last season now. It's very like sort of very big brain show.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on, but it's really cool like alternate reality where like the Nazis, basically the Axis like win the war. So Nazis and the Japanese win the war and they've taken over America. And there's like a resistance and it's kind of like, but then it gets really interesting and different. So it's pretty cool. I like Man in the High Castle a lot.
It's very different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, and kind of creepy. Like it's a creepy alternate reality. Like,
Yeah, I don't know if it's like, for me it's creepy as it is like almost
though.
disturbing.
Well, yeah. Okay,
Because it's like,
sure.
it's like, whoa, like if the Nazis actually won, like
Yeah.
this could be how it actually plays out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this character that we love in it, whose title is Open Gruppenführer.
Yes.
Who we just call Oompa Loompa Führer.
Oompa Loompa.
Because it's
Well,
hard
that's what I call him because I can't.
But he's an American named
Yeah.
John Smith, right? And it's like there's Americans who are born American, but they're like in the Nazi Reich, and it's so like
Wow.
it's a little disturbing, but it's really
Führer.
interesting, right?
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Stealthy Inc. saying, I only got Prime Video to watch House MD and finish the show before the end of the free trial.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah. Machi saying good show right now is The Good Place.
Oh, yes, I've heard
I've seen a couple episodes.
Agreeing. And Kim's Convenience is a great
I've heard
comedy
Kim's
based
Convenience is really
in
good.
Toronto. Kim's
Yeah.
Convenience is so funny.
I really
It's
need
so
to
great.
watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, Kim's Convenience. I think you would enjoy Kim's
I know I would, but I
You're
just need to
gonna enjoy Kim's Convenience. I have enjoyed Kim's Convenience. I need to catch up though on that front. I think I haven't watched the latest season, but yeah, Kim's Convenience is really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other shows?
Oh, there's so many shows.
Yeah.
There's many shows. The shows are many.
There's speaking of Canadian shows, I'm all about the obscure shows, but there's a show on Netflix that I think Netflix produced called Alias Grace, which is based off I think it's Margaret Atwood. Margaret Atwood wrote the book and it became an adaptation to the show. And Margaret Atwood's Canadian, right? So the show is actually based in, I think it's in the 80s or like the 1800s in Toronto, like in Canada. And it's so interesting because there's an American doctor who visits, and as Canadians, we don't think we have an accent, of course, right? Or like we don't think our accent is that different from the Americans unless it's like a southern accent or anything like that. But then they start speaking like their Canadian accent. It's like, oh man, we have an accent. But it's this mystery about this wife who supposedly killed her husband, but has a lot to do with like sort of psychology and like the psychology behind like whether or not she like is actually a murderer or whether or not very kind of like court trial type thing.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I've read the book.
Yeah.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Omer is saying Nathan For You is amazing. So it's a TV show called Nathan For You, and he's saying you guys should support your fellow Canadian. Apparently it's from a Canadian,
Cool.
Yeah. So
Nice, of course.
yeah, keep an eye out on that. Yeah, and then Abache, Xena and Hercules were also great shows.
Oh yeah, Hercules was a TV show for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where you get disappointed.
I forgot all about
Have
that.
you seen that meme?
Yes, I have.
Yes, that meme is hilarious. So there's this scene
Xena, yeah.
where Hercules gets like transported somewhere and he looks around and it's just like, wait, this isn't my world? And then he shouts, disappointed! But the reason why that's so funny is because he actually read the script wrong. It's supposed to be, this is my world, saying it in a disappointed way.
Oh!
Yeah. So his line was like, this isn't my world, disappointed.
Like I'm supposed to
And they just
read
kept
it.
it.
Yeah.
It's
They
like
just kept it.
disappointed.
So, yeah,
That's
it's
funny.
great.
Oh,
It's
that's so
funny.
good.
That's
Yeah.
actually really funny.
That's so good. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That would be fun too to find like bloopers like that.
Oh, that'd be so
Oh,
good.
man.
Yeah. Katie and I are currently watching it's a bit darker of a show, but it's called Broadchurch.
Mhm.
Oh,
we're,
yeah.
we're the last episode into season 2, yeah.
Yeah.
So
What's
British,
it about?
British drama.
Broad-
Last night we got to like a critical point, and then I was like, "Oh, we should actually go to bed."
Yeah. Broadchurch is a show set in a small town in Ireland, Scotland, the UK.
Scotland.
Or say the UK.
No, it's in the UK.
About
for sure.
this small town with basically kind of like a lot of secrets,
Mm.
but there's a murder, unfortunately, of a young boy, and it's about the detectives who kind of are trying to solve this murder and how it impacts the town. So it's really this sort of like small town being impacted by this crazy event,
And then in
and all
the
these like secrets being
second,
unveiled.
revealed, and it's like, oh, this person has this secret, so maybe that implicates them. But
Yeah,
a lot of the like
there's a lot of
stories get tied up.
mystery, yeah.
And then at the end of the first season, you find something out, and then the second season, there's like this whole like you think it's over, but
Yeah.
it like gets even
It's
more
never
complicated.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was,
It's really good.
Yeah.
If you like mystery, right? If you like sort of like drama
Or courtroom
courtroom stuff,
it gets
like
there
Broadchurch is
eventually.
really good. Police
Yeah.
work, yeah. Broadchurch is a great show. Yeah. You got any other shows, Julie?
Let's
Any
see.
thoughts?
Man, definitely, and like this is one of those things that like it sucks because like when you lose I guess like integral show members, it really changes the dynamic,
Totally.
right? So that happened to this show, which is Community.
Yes.
Yeah, like yeah.
Who
so-
did they lose?
Sorry,
Again? Who did they lose again?
they lost.
Was it Donald Glover?
Yeah, Donald Glover. Yeah.
I don't
and-
think I actually watched those seasons.
Really.
I don't
No,
think
I've
I
never
actually
seen
like.
it.
Well,
season.
it like yeah. When
Yeah. You haven't seen it at all?
Glover
No,
was
I've
a
seen the early
Okay,
seasons.
okay.
big
Yeah.
hit. Yeah, Donald,
Yeah.
they lost Donald Glover was a big hit
Yeah.
to the show. But no, Community was a great show.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's
I
so
still
good,
love
yeah.
watching episodes.
Exactly. It's one of those things where it kind of had, it kind of had the DNA of what made Arrested Development great. Yeah.
That'd be fun to watch
so-
again, actually.
Yeah, I
I'd watch
remember.
Community again.
I remember there's this one episode where Britta,
Britta,
like
yeah.
Britta Water.
Yeah.
She like, so there's like the cafe, right, where there was like an opening or something for like a coffee shop or like a food stand, and I think the one of the members, I forgot her name. She's got curly hair as a mother. She's like bidding for it, but only a student could own it. And Subway, the company, was also bidding for it, but they're not a student.
Right.
So they paid someone to legally change their name to Subway
Oh yeah.
so that they could bid on like the spot. And then Britta like falls in love with Subway because his literal name is Subway. So there's one point in the show where she's like, "I love you, Subway." It's hilarious.
It's so
Community is
great.
just some of the ideas they come up with, like the paintball, like the end of the year paintball scenes.
That's true. The giant like
Crazy.
pillow fort, like blanket fort.
Yes.
That one's one of my favorites.
Yeah, there's such crazy episodes in Subway, and the characters are so good.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
There's still a list here. Harvey Birdman, attorney at law. Absurd, but hilarious. It's about a failed comic superhero becomes a lawyer defending Hanna-Barbera characters, featuring Stephen Colbert's voice. MXC was the show. This is about
MXC.
Was the show Benson and I were talking about before. It's too funny.
MXC is so funny.
Yeah.
It's like a Japanese game show that is completely unfair to the contestants.
Yeah.
So instead of there being like 10 contestants, there's like 100 contestants.
Yeah.
And they just lose so bad because all the objectives and things like that are just completely like against their favor.
Oh my
it's
God.
really funny. MXC is so funny.
Lynn McMullen, Troy and Abbott in the morning.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's so good.
Yeah. Oh man, I miss Community. I should.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun to rewatch.
Yeah, Community's fun.
Yeah. But watch Arrested Development first. Watch Arrested Development first.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't watched Arrested Development, you are missing out on some great comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Katie and I were when we started dating, we started watching Grey's Anatomy
That's true.
for a long time. We almost got caught up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're still partway through
I
this.
think like the latest season on Netflix.
One of the.
But it's like
or second latest. I don't know.
18 seasons or something. So.
It's not quite
But it's
that bad.
good.
But,
I do like Grey's Anatomy a lot. It's
yeah.
really good. I do love Grey's Anatomy.
It's been a good ride.
Yeah, it's like a
haven't
medical
gotten there
show
yet.
about like doctors and their lives and things like
Oh
that.
yeah.
All sorts of things happen in Grey's Anatomy.
Oh yeah. They're like how one person can go through so many horrible things and like still survive. It's like one of those shows, like a plane crash, a shooting, like the hospital blows up.
Yeah.
Like there's so many.
The 100 is kind of a show like that too.
True.
Right, the
I
100.
heard about the 100.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I have. I've seen
Yeah.
it all. They like it's like alternate kind of apocalyptic
Post-apocalyptic,
reality.
yeah.
That like they're all in a spaceship or like whatever. Maybe there's one, maybe there's more.
there's
They need to
stations,
figure
yeah.
out if like the world is habitable.
There was like
again.
a nuclear war,
Yeah.
and the world was like just
It was toxic.
uninhabitable.
So
So
they're
they
like,
sent these
maybe
space
it's okay
stations.
now, right? And like, so they have these delinquent kids, 100 of them, and they're like, oh, you're expendable. We'll just like send you down. Like,
Yeah, there's all
basically,
morality
to
stuff,
check
right?
out. Yeah, like there's like morality.
It's like if you die, then it's not okay.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
you don't, then
Yeah.
maybe we can come down.
Well, even
So-
on the ship, if you do something wrong, like they need to get their population down. So if you do something wrong, you can be floated, which means like basically just sent out into space.
Yeah, because
Like,
you can't afford to like.
yeah. So it's real, but they're getting to that
Yeah,
point
I guess in
where
that way
like,
it's a little
oh,
dark, right? It's a
It,
little
it's
gritty.
really dark.
Yeah, it's really
It gets
gritty and
even
dark.
darker in
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the end seasons for
Yeah.
sure. It
But,
gets very. It starts off as like, oh yeah, maybe this could be kind of like a older kids show, but then
Yeah,
like, no,
no,
I don't
it's an
think
adult
so.
show,
It's
yeah.
definitely an
Yeah.
adult show.
Yeah. Stealthy Inc. Has anyone watched Troll Hunters? It's more of a family show, but
Oh,
my
I
younger
heard it's
brother
good. I heard
was
it's
watching
actually
it,
pretty
and
good.
I kind of liked it.
I heard it's good. Like, I also heard like the How to Train Your Dragon TV show is also like really good.
Really?
Like, there's actually some like
Yeah.
really good animated just TV shows on Netflix now.
Yes. Speaking of which, the Dragon Prince is actually really, really good. Yes.
okay,
the
what
Dragon
is it
Prince
about?
Is amazing.
Because it looks a little like, I think my impression of it, which is why I didn't watch it,
yeah.
is it looked a little bit like Avatar, and I was like, I don't know if I want to like.
But it's not, and it's actually it's a great show. I think to start off, it kind of starts off a bit kiddish.
Okay.
Yeah, but it turns into something else, and it's great. Like like the characters are actually awesome. So there's you know the kind of like the prince of this country, right? And I think one of them was adopted, but anyways, they have this aunt who is a general, right? Who's the general of that kingdom and is out somewhere, but like she's such a badass character. She has like the shield that like she uses to fight, but also she's mute. So she has like a right hand man that like you know that like that translate for her and stuff like that. But yeah, and she's like such a cool character. Yeah, and it's like the characters in that show is actually It's great. It's great.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm
Neat.
really enjoying that
Dragon
show.
Prince.
So
Yeah.
hopefully it gets even better. But we'll see. Hopefully they introduce their tough.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. There's a show I've been kind of watching called The Expanse, which is also on Prime Video. It's like a sci-fi show. But like, yeah, there's like crazy mystery as like what happened on these ships and these really unique like societies and things like that that go on. Yeah. But there's so many good shows to watch, you know, on like Netflix or Prime Video or Disney Plus. Have you seen The Mandalorian? I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't. No.
I know I need to.
We should get Disney
Hopefully there's no
Plus to watch
spoilers. I
Mandalorian
know like Baby
together.
Yoda. We should get. Can you imagine if we got a little Baby Yoda?
We
Right
should.
here.
We should.
You know, he's-
Why have we not?
Because he's so expensive.
How much is
Everyone
Baby
wants
Yoda?
one. Everyone wants one.
He's gonna run out of stock.
Like $500.
What?
Baby Yoda. Yeah.
well
What?
then,
Yeah.
we can
Something
print
like
a
that.
picture of him.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll-
Yes,
For free.
Yeah, we
Print
should
a Baby
just print a
Yoda.
picture.
For free.
Alright, yeah. Next one, attack. Baby Yoda, make me
Baby
appearance.
Yoda.
We're gonna
That
have
and
Baby
one of
Yoda.
those giant fish from like the freshwater fish show you're talking
River
about.
monsters.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But actual size, it's just like.
Yeah,
Instead-
this
yeah,
nice
this
Christian
fish right
fish
here.
will be replaced
Yeah, it's gonna get replaced.
with a giant river monsters
An
fish.
actual river monster fish.
We have
or
all we
Baby
can
Yoda.
to make it happen.
You know,
Yeah.
Shuli, in one of the episodes, he catches like a 10-foot catfish.
Nice.
Wow.
That's a good candidate for the
Yeah.
wall, I think.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so funny.
Come back on Tuesday and see the transformations that have been made to our set.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. Yeah. Man.
All right. I think we have time for like one final show from each of us.
Oh
Okay.
boy. Oh no, I don't even
Alright,
know if I have any more.
Alright, and think, I'm gonna think Americans. I'm like, oh yeah, that show, I remember that show, so I can talk about it. And I will talk about it. That's my pick for my last one.
Do you want it? You
Oh,
can talk about it now. Yeah, there you go.
I was trying to figure out what was my
Oh,
pick
I
for
see. Yeah, it's
Sure,
your
go,
turn. You
yeah.
go
that.
ahead.
Alright, Benson, you wanna start?
Sure. Sure. I think another show that I think Prime Video produces a lot of really good shows, which I'm bringing some of them up.
Yeah.
Is Jack Ryan. Jack Ryan's a really good show.
Oh,
it's
man, a
it's
lot of
based
people
off
talk
of
about that.
Tom Clancy, who
Yeah.
wrote a lot of like sort of spy or like government sort of action
Yes.
shows. So Jack Ryan is like this analyst, right? Who gets caught up in like world moving sort of conspiracies and themes like that, and ends up basically like saving the world multiple times while trying to just be like this analyst who's a doctor, right? But it's kind of brainy in terms of like there's a lot of like, oh, like we gotta trace the money to like these groups and who really did it or who's trying to like do this, and it's quite a bit of action as well.
Yeah.
And John Krasinski from The Office
John Krasinski.
is actually the Jack Ryan.
Yeah,
So
he's
in
doing
this,
a
like,
lot of great things.
he's doing a lot of
He's
great things,
doing
right?
a lot of great
With,
things.
like,
A Quiet Place.
A Quiet Place, but like
Quiet
actually
Place.
as like he's actually so good as a very smart, personable like Jack Ryan figure who's an analyst, but also great in action. He did another movie called 13 Hours in Benghazi that I also love, where he did action as well. And I think he was actually considered for Captain America.
Wow.
He almost became a Captain America.
Put that on your resume.
Yeah.
I
But
wouldn't-
Jack
I
Ryan.
wouldn't mind that. Actually.
Jack Ryan has
Him
2
being
seasons
Captain
out now.
America? Yeah.
You wouldn't mind being Captain America?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him being Captain
Oh,
America.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
that'd
wouldn't want to be Captain America. No.
be-
No.
But that's my final pick is Jack Ryan. You should check it out. It's
Yeah,
pretty cool if you have
sure,
Prime Video. There's
sure.
2 seasons out right now.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Alright.
Man, I'm trying. Sorry,
Alright,
I'm
Kate,
trying to think
do you have
now.
yours?
Okay. Yeah, I can talk about for 2 seconds Tiny House Hunters, which is again
Also,
like
Tiny
House Hunters I referenced earlier. Really good show on like HGTV. I just love all of the tiny house shows. There's one on there's
Do
one
you want to
on,
live in a tiny house?
I kind of did once upon a time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I actually pictured it. If I was like single with my cat, like us like setting up shop in a tiny house in someone's backyard. Not a bad idea. Not a bad way to live. You can have all the expensive furnishings because you only need like 2 feet of them, or like 1, right?
Wow.
Like, and also the ways that they save space are just ingenious. Like they're super interesting. staircases, ladders, lofts. It's kind of like living in a fort in some ways. Like the fun ways of displaying things, and everything has to have multiple purposes.
Yeah.
Right.
There's one on Netflix called Tiny House Nation, I think. Like there's
Oh,
a couple.
yeah.
There's a couple seasons of
Tiny
basically
House
where they
Nation.
just go in and like look at how these people have built their houses and like what they're like. And I think it's kind of a curiosity because everybody's like bigger is better and like I need more room
Right.
for all my
Right,
stuff.
yeah.
Then there's the other side of people who are simplifying and saying no, I can live in like
There's some really
this small of a
unique tiny houses that I've seen. Like the
I saw one that was like a family of 5 where they went on this like road trip in their like RV or whatever over the summer across all the states, and they got back and then everybody was just like in their own separate rooms again in their house. And so they decided that something needed to change because they were all so close when they were like living together in this small space.
Like
in
they
their
loved it
RV.
as a family.
Yeah, like they actually loved it, and then they got back into their like 2,000 or whatever square foot home, and everybody just had their own space again on their own phones, and so they're like, actually, we're gonna go tiny, and it was like unheard of, right? It's a family of 5 in a tiny house.
Yeah, for
so yeah,
Crazy.
just really interesting.
Crazy.
Yeah. So that's such an interesting. Wow. I kind of.
You should watch an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch an episode.
Yeah,
I'll
you
watch an
should for
episode.
sure.
And I'll build my own tiny house.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have a tiny house.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We could still have a tiny house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I'm just kidding. I'd be open to it. It would be interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'd be open to it.
Nice.
So, let's see here. Yeah, okay. So, for my pick, Omer mentioned this actually. It's a horror TV show,
Oh.
and like that's hard to do. Horror like TV show is very hard to do.
Yeah.
But have you guys heard of Hunting of Hill House?
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah. That one.
Hunting of Hill House.
It's so good.
It's such a great.
I'm not even a big horror
show.
fan. Like, I don't go on my way to find horror.
Yeah.
But Haunting of Hill House is a really
Yeah,
good
it's
show.
so well done. There's this one episode, I believe it's episode 6 or 7, where the entire episode is basically a one take,
I never noticed that.
shot.
Oh.
Yeah, it was the episode where yeah,
What is
I don't want to
spoil?
spoil.
Yeah, the episode.
Yeah, that's a spoil heavy
Hold on,
show.
hold on.
Where
the thing
but yeah,
happens.
one of the episode is the
I didn't realize that.
The entire episode is a one take, right? Yeah, I think 1 or 2 takes.
Is it with the younger sister?
No. But
Okay, interesting.
But the thing about this, that what makes it amazing is that there are kind of 2 different cast of characters, the younger version and
Yes.
the older version of the crew,
Yes.
right? And in those scenes,
such
they
a
were
good
all
show.
there. They were all kind of together,
Whoa.
right? So it's
Oh,
It's
tread tread carefully on these
no,
spoilers.
it's these
Yeah.
the older cast and the younger cast, right? We're all acting together in a whole one shot 40-minute it felt like a play,
That's cool.
right? Because there are no
Yeah.
cuts.
The cast is
right?
perfect.
Yeah, and they had to you had to have your lines memorized,
Yeah.
right? And some of their monologues are very long, and it's just the casting is fantastic. It's great. It's such a well done show.
I don't really think it's the type of show that they can do a second season of.
No, I don't think so.
But I hope they do
Interesting.
more. Like whoever's producing them
Yeah, I think they're doing a second season.
of Haunting of Hill
Yeah,
House.
yeah. I don't know how it's gonna look. Maybe it's gonna be a different.
Oh
Crew?
man, even the characters are so good.
I know, it's so
it's
good.
so deep.
I kind of want to rewatch it now. But
Yeah, me
it's
too.
really, really good. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those are
that's a
all
great
on
mention.
TV shows. Great discussions.
Yeah.
It's a
Good
lot-
spectrum. Good
Yeah.
spectrum.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to do another part 2 because
Yeah,
I feel like
there's so many more.
Yeah.
I feel like there's even TV shows I would like to see. That'd be
Yeah.
great. Like there's talks of a Last of Us
Yes.
TV show coming out. There's
Yes.
talks of the Silmarillion or like a Lord of the Rings TV show coming out. That would all be really exciting. Yeah.
Truth.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today, guys, with Lunch Attack. We appreciate your comments. We love hearing about the TV shows that you love. We love being here with you. We're live Tuesdays to Friday at noontime, so you can always join us for lunch. Let us know what you're having, and we hope that you have a great week until we see you guys again. So until then, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Keep snacking till then.